We are back with the most successful series on MMA YouTube, guys. That's right, the 100+ hour breakdown. We're the best on this platform, baby. Like, we gotta keep the momentum going. Never got a 100+ hour video wrong. Cue the comments, dude. But you got the Nigerian pick wrong, brother. You guys understand? I gotta keep my Nigerian curse up as well as keeping the 100+ hour curse up. Not curse, but the 100+ hour streak up. I never got a 100+ hour streak wrong. I never picked a Nigerian fighter right. So, like, I had to combine that into one. So, what are we, like, 11 for 11 on these guys? And this is actually one that, first of all, after watching footage, this fight's closer than you think. Guys, it's close. And I was like, you guys know how you bite your nails a little bit, look left or right before you cross the street when you're nervous? Like, you know how, like, like when you're in class and, like, you're not paying attention, you're like, with the boys. And then, like, all of a sudden, you're doing popcorn reading. And they're like, all right, Kenny, pick up in the next spot. And you're like, you start doing one of these. You, like, rub your shoulders, look left and right. You start, like, act like you don't hear her. I'm nervous. All right, am I nervous? I don't know. I just really like Umar. I just reacted to the their digital face-off. You guys already seen that video, but I'm recording this on the same day because I'm in Mexico right now doing one of these. Hey, we in Mexico like this right now. But yeah, jokes aside, let's get into this 100+ hour breakdown because these two fighters are very talented. We're gonna start off with things to note, starting with Umar Nurmagomedov. First thing to note, his body language falters late, but it's not so much in cardio issue. Like, I've noticed that I've seen his body language, it seems to, like, diminish as the fight goes along. It shows in the Marav fight. It shows in every fight. Like, it's almost like his brother does it too. Umar Nurmagomedov does it too. It's almost like he just looks a lot flatter and, like, his body language looks bad, but he still is able to throw. Like, people say he fatigued against the against Marav fight. Watch back the Marav 5th round. Umar was schooling him the whole round. Then he gets caught with a punch and, like, rocks a little bit. And then from there on out, it's bad. So I don't even think he gets rocked in a lot of those times. He just gets hit. His body language is so bad. He, like, he looks bad. Kind of reminds me of DDP, but it said he, like, looks less goofy. Like, he doesn't look as goofy as DDP. But his body language does falter late. And this is a big thing when it comes to scoring because, like, I'm telling you guys, Umar won the first 3 rounds. But towards the 3rd round, his body language started to diminish. I'm telling you, watch back that 3rd round, muted. And if you actually think Marab won, I'll clap it up for you. I'm not even saying this to Cope, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. I think his body language has a lot to do with judging. And you got to be careful when your body language looks poor because it can negatively affect the outcome. Next up, I have finishing ability isn't high. Like, if you're thinking Umar's going to go in there and knock him out, I don't know, guys. Or go in there, submit him. It's possible, but I don't know. Like, especially with Yadong, like, this is something to note about Umar in general. Like, in these high-level fights, his finishing ability is never wicked high. Like, he does have some good, great finishes, like chinning Barcelos, who has a great chin. But, like, it's not really high, especially with his fight style. You're not really going in there expecting Umar to get a finish. And that could be a big thing, especially when you're known to have your body language kind of dissipate late. It could get complicated with the scoring. So those are things to know with Umar Nurmagomedov. Things to note about Song Yadong. Tends to struggle with high-level strikers. If you look at a lot of things his mutual opponents have in common that beat him, Peter Yan, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen, they're all elite strikers. Some of them are kick first. Some of them have great hands. Umar is a mix of both. Guys, Umar's one of the best strikers in bantamweight. I watched back the Corey Sandhagen fight, like, when I was doing my footage. He's a lot better than Corey in striking. Like, if you look at that fight, Umar didn't win because of wrestling. He actually won because of striking. He's just a tricky striker, so he's another high-level striker Song's going to go against, so it is something to take note of. People mistaken Umar for a grapple-first fighter for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe his last name, but he's most certainly a strike-first. He's kind of like he's more like a Chanko than he is like an Islam Makhachev, if that makes sense. Like, he's a strike-first guy. Just want people to know that. Secondly, I said he loses to championship-caliber opponents, so, like, that's another trend. Yan, Suga, and, of course, Corey Sandhagen, they're like championship caliber. They either held the belt or fought for it. He also lost to Kyler Phillips a little bit earlier. He kind of lost that because, like, he got taken down a bit, which is not, that's another flaw that you could point at. But, yeah, we're going to talk about his whole takedown defense and all that when we actually get into the breakdown. And let's start off with the striking. We're going to get to the actual breakdown now that we have things to note. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you guys just had to like right now for me reminding you, you got, man. But make sure you liked and make sure you subscribed. Now, let's get into it, guys. Starting with the striking of Umar Nurmagomedov. With the pros, a lot of pros with him. He's a really good striker. I can't help it. First pro, I said great front leg, lead kicks, low kicks, question mark kicks. I'm saying front leg, but he has a great rear leg as well. But like he'll get into a flow state where his front leg is just going flying. He'll throw 2 question mark kicks in a row with a side kick, with a low kick. He's nasty. He's just like his brother. Him and Usman, man, they have like a really sharp lead leg that's really quick and it flows really well. Not a lot of people use their lead leg great. Another person I think uses their lead leg really good is like a DDP in the UFC. But outside of that, and Adesanya maybe, but outside of that, it's really difficult to see someone with such a talented lead leg, and he switches stance as well. So I also put switch stance ability. He could throw that lead leg it doesn't matter what leg's in front of him, is right or left. He's a primary southpaw, so he's a little bit more tricky than people would think. He did show me in the Corey Sandhagen fight, though. He's able to switch stances and fight comfortably off both. Also said he has a quick 1-2. His 1-2 is one of the weapons that I feel like he rocks a lot of people with, especially Marab. Like he sits down on a 1-2 here and there. And it's usually out the blue because you're so used to him having a kick base, and moving a lot. And then he sits down on a 1-2 and he usually lands. He's a really good striker and a really smart striker. He's also very defensively responsible, which leads me to my next one. Great head movement and distance management. He manages the distance using his front legs. So he's going to actually use a lot of question mark kicks and push kicks and lead kicks to like kind of keep his distance from you while rotating left or right. And like, it's hard to track him. And then when you do try to track him, he does a good job for the most part moving his head. Then last but not least, I said Nurmagomedov chin genetics. The Nurmagomedov chin genetics. Habib has some weird genetics where like he gets hit and he just refuses to go out cold. He took Gaethje's and Edson Barboza's best shot, Dustin Poirier, like all these guys' best shot, Connors. He ate them. He laughed at them. He smiled at them, smacked them a little bit. This is the truth. Umar has those genetics. Umar just refuses to go cold. Bro, the like knee Batista landed on him. Bro, there's shots that people land so clean on Umar, and like while he's going for a takedown, he gets caught clean with an knee or something. He like goes down and he pops back up like nothing happened, and he's not even wobbled. It's weird because he's not wobbled. Like it would make sense like if he tries to after he gets up, he's like, oh, whoa. But no, he just takes it. It's like it makes me think going cold's a choice, and guys, sometimes like I've been hit so clean in sparring. I remember one time I literally ducked into like a big ass dude's like hook, boom. I just ate that, and I was like, okay, that was nothing. Like I didn't even like feel anything. I just kept going because like I think I refused to go cold. If I had chin ability, maybe I was like, oh, I did. Fuck, I'm out. Umar makes the split decision choice. Nah, going cold's for wusses. I hope this does not age well. I mean, age bad. Imagine next fight. Oh, chincha. Oh, nah. Jokes aside, though, I think he refuses to go cold, but I think it has something to do with the Nurmagomedov genetics. So. It's one thing saying someone has puncher's chance, but when it's a Nurmagomedov in front of you, like with the good Nurmagomedov genetics, it's probably hard to cold him. So, yeah, when puncher's chance starts going out the window, that's something that's very concerning for the opposition, usually if the guy's only chance is to knock him out with a shot. But as for striking cons, he has been prone to getting caught with big shots. It's not like, it's weird because when you actually look at the setups that are big shots, it seems like more of a timing issue. But it happened in the Beksav fight, happened in the Batista fight, There's just some fights where he does get caught with these big shots. Even Marab caught him with a big shot, so like he is prone. I'm like looking at the footage for it, guys. There's not a specific habit that he does horribly that I feel like causes it to be exploited, but it's MMA, and he just finds himself usually dominating these people, but then out of the blue getting caught with something big. And even every time he gets caught with something big, he's still 30-27 Beksav. He still damn near beat Batista every round, but he got caught with a big shot, so he made it more close. So him getting caught with a big shot doesn't necessarily lose him the round because he never gets wobbled horribly. But like it makes it more interesting, I suppose. So I have to say this is a con because like it happened in multiple fights, and that is a con. Like I was trying to find the defensive habit that causes that. I can't really pinpoint it. Maybe it's something they see when they're in or maybe it's just an unlucky situations because it's not like he's getting caught with the same shot. Their knees, their overhands, there's like certain things he's just getting caught with. Sometimes maybe he's irresponsible with his takedown attempts. I'm not sure, but he is prone to be getting caught with big shots. He's going against a big puncher. This could be a recipe for disaster. So you might have to use those Nurmagomedov chin genetics. But those are the striking pros and cons of Umar Nurmagomedov. Moving on to Song Yadong. He has some good striking pros as well. He has a solid low kick. That's going to be the first thing I talk about because his low kick is very problematic. He throws it out very fast, very just quick. He's like almost like a very tense striker, like everything has power behind it, especially his low kick, which leads me to my next point. He's an explosive puncher. He's so tense, but he explodes into like these switch punches or these like quick overhand straights, and they are thudding and they are damaging and they hurt people. He was rocking Corey left and right, even though Corey beat him unanimously. Like he was doing like Corey's just good, even though Umar beat him. Corey's just fucking nasty, bro. But Yadong almost got Corey out there like on 2-3 occasions, I'd say. Which like leads me to my next one: heavy, quick hands and that strong overhand. That overhand is probably his best weapon. Sometimes he just lunges in with it, but it's so quick. Like he lunges a bit. I'll give him that he lunges a bit, but I still said good blitz with good pressure behind it, because like he's kind of always in your face. He does play the seesaw game. He'll let you take the front foot here and there, but he'll blitz his way out of it, and then he'll continue on the forward pressure. So it's a good blitz. Of course, it's dangerous when you have a blitz in general because there's holes in that, but like most people aren't going to want to sit down and try to like just slip your punch and counter you with something else, because if they fuck up that slip, it could be the end of your chin. Like your chin could just be on the platter. It could be over. So he's a very explosive, dangerous striker, so that's something I do have to applaud him for. He's like, you don't want to be in front of Yadong for 25 minutes, and that looks like it's going to be the case for a fight like this. But that takes me to his cons. Taggable from jabs and straights. Like some jabs and straights bleed through. When I was watching the Sugar fight back and the Corey fight back, Corey was landing some good elbows too, but like there's just certain things that slip through when he's a bit irresponsible with his pressure. I think there's more jabs and straights, but if you have elbows and some kicks to the stomach, like those slip through too. So he's taggable. Taggable is the best way to put it. Like it's not like he's the poor defensive habits, but it's just like his offensive style kind of makes it a little bit prone to get caught with some shots while coming in. So that's what I just put taggable. That's the best way to describe it, eh? And I said sometimes chases with minimal output. He's not horrible with this because he has a strong low kick, but like as far as like the hands are concerned, which I feel like is actually his best weapon, is boxing. Sometimes he will like kind of walk you down and like forget to throw his hands, and it's a weird one because I know Umar's going to be on his bike in this one. Umar's going to be doing a lot of skating around, moving around. He could fall into the lull of kind of just chasing Umar, getting kicked a bunch, and like missing. Like Umar's probably gonna do a decent job making him miss. But you just gotta be a little bit more output heavy. Like I don't want him to walk down Umar and just like not throw, because he has to throw if he wants to have a decent chance at beating him. He's gonna need to. So that's a striking con. I noticed he's not horrible with this. He has pretty decent output for the most part, but sometimes in these fights against those elite strikers, why he's falling behind is because these elite strikers like Yan, and Yan's not even known for crazy output, but Yan, Sugar, and Corey, they start to pull away because they just happen to be landing more while he's doing a little bit more chasing than actual output. So it's not that he has minimal output. I'd rather say minimal output in contrast to the opponents in front of him when he goes against these high-level strikers, and I actually think Umar's a high-level striker, which leads me to the striking comparison. I think Umar will likely be the superior striker. I know that might come to a surprise for a lot of people because people might think Umar's going to need to wrestle and do some things he's never done before to get the win. But no, I actually think he's going to be the superior striker in this one. I also said the kicks will be problematic for both. So I see the low kicks of Yadong actually being problematic for the movement of Umar, probably forcing Umar to eventually switch stances, kind of similar to the Corey fight. Corey did a great job against Umar low kicking, and he forcing Umar to switch stances. I can see Yadong bringing that same side out of Umar, making it a tough fight on the feet. But I just think Umar likely uses his stick and move style where Yadong chases and might be falling behind in the points while he's chasing him. So like going back to my narrative, like I could see a lot of body kicks, low kicks, question mark kicks from Umar while skating on the outside of the fence, maybe jumping into that 1-2 and then like getting out of there while Yadong overextends on an overhand, then he's out, and then maybe when Umar flows, guys, I didn't even put this for a striking pro, but his flow state is beautiful. If you look at the Marab fight, when Marab started getting annoyed and crashing in, Umar was flowing, dude. And when he flows, it's almost like art, bro. Like he flows nicely. He flows with question mark kicks repeatedly. Then you duck over with an overhand. Like he flows nicely, and his movement is very good. Like I'm telling you right now, Yadong has great movement too. Like he's very in and out sometimes, but I do think when Umar hits like a weird flow state, he's very hard to keep up with. So that's something to note. And I feel like overall on the striking is actually going to favor Umar, contrary to popular belief. So after doing footage, I do favor Umar actually in the striking primarily. Now in the grappling, the pros for Umar: he's a great scrambler, strong back taker, which is his best accolade, I feel like, and best skill in the grappling. Then I said he has a solid leg, single leg. His scrambling is probably okay. Scrambling might be over his back, but his scrambling is the reason he's able to get the back. If you actually look at Umar's, his wrestling is good, guys, but he's not like that Islam or Khabib level wrestling. Like he'll wrestle a single, and he'll say he doesn't complete the single, but like he gets you in like down a bit, and you're gonna force a scramble. It's that moment when you're trying to force a scramble where he's going to just out-scramble you and probably take your back. Like, he takes the back from some unique positions. Corey did a great job defending the back because he's a pretty good defensive grappler, but eventually he got his back taken, like, at the end of every round because Umar's just a little bit more crafty in the way he scrambles and forces scrambles. So I think Umar's scrambling ability is one of those things that people actually have to look at and be like, you know what? This guy's actually abnormally good at it, because it's not like he's a Islam guy. He can't, like, really go for a takedown and just complete it off of, strength and all that and just tier one grappling skill because he's not that great of an actual offensive wrestler, in my opinion. Not saying he's a bad offensive wrestler. He's a very solid offensive wrestler. He's just not what his team is, like what the sum of his best in his team is. He's a great striker who knows how to wrestle as well, and it's definitely a weapon of his, and it definitely opens up his striking and probably makes people think his striking is a lot better. Or makes them fear his striking a lot more is a better thing, because a better way to put it, like they fear his striking because his wrestling. But if you actually look at his wrestling footage and his wrestling scrambles, he's good, but he's never really been the best at certain things. I think it's mostly the scramble and his ability to take the back. And even if he takes the back in an awkward angle, he'll still hold you there. I think the Corey fight showed that. He doesn't need to actually fully have your back. He just needs to have your back and have his legs in some kind of formation that, you know, he could just hold you there and like avoid taking damage. So that's his grappling pros. As far as grappling cons, he lacks strength. Now, I just put lack strength, but it leads to actually a lot of bad things. So sometimes I'll actually see him go for a single leg and he just doesn't have what it takes to snap them down or like trip them because he's not physically there. He's not physically strong. Even in the clinch, like he goes for some clinch trips, it doesn't really work because sometimes he's like he every time he takes people down, it's more technique based. Also leads to him not being able to hold people down. Like when he has people down, he tries to heavy hit max, but he really lacks the physical strength to actually hold people down. I remember people like Bexot like literally bumping him off when he had full mount. Like he's very skilled in the grappling, but I do think he's a bit light for the weight class. I don't know how to explain it, guys. Like he's a bit skinny, you know, he can never go up to 145. It's like one of those things. I don't know how much weight he cuts. I don't think it's that much. He's naturally not a huge guy. Like you could tell, like when he fights anyone, like he has naturally more of a skinny base. And I feel like it leads to him not being able to finish some takedowns, as well as not being able to control people fully on the ground. When he gets the back, he controls you. But like when you take someone's back, it's not so much strength based, it's more technique based, you know, technique riddled. Whereas like when you're on south, when you're in like on top of someone, say you're half guard moving into full mount or something, like you have to have heavy hips, you know, and that does come with strength a bit. Like it comes with strength a lot more, especially in contrast to like taking the back. So he's good at controlling people in positions that aren't strength oriented, but when there's positions like half guard or like full mount or even side control, like things that are going to require a little bit more strength to control, he doesn't do a good job controlling the fight there. So that's something in his grappling that I notice a big flaw, as well as, like I said, the takedowns. Because there's some takedowns you need to be a bit strong, like because especially against Yadong, like he's gonna have a solid base. You can't really just kick out his legs or just out drive him and take him down on a single or a double, because he has heavy hips and his sprawl is gonna be strong. So him lacking strength is actually a big part about this fight that people need to understand. Because if you think Umar's gonna go in there and kind of have his way with Yadong in the grappling, you're mistaken, in my opinion. Let's go to Yadong now, though. Yadong's a strong defensive wrestler, like physically strong especially, and he's a decent offensive wrestler. So I actually seen Yadong go for takedowns on himself sometimes. He does well, and I actually feel like that's going to play into a little bit in a factor of this one when I talk about how the grappling compares. But I do think Yadong's one of those people who actually is willing to go in there and shoot some takedowns himself to mix it up and keep the guy guessing. But I do think his best accolade in the grappling is just his ability to defend. Like he defends pretty well. He has been taken down, but overall, like when he goes against good wrestlers, he does prepare himself accordingly. So I do think his strong offensive defensive wrestling is a big part about this fight. But his only cons to me is like well-timed takedowns throw him off. So these are takedowns that like he just least expect. Like when I remember Corey kept going for takedowns early, they were getting stuffed. I remember late he had that one takedown in the 5th round when he was a little bit more tired, sloppy. Kyler Phillips was taking him down a bit, you know, off a well-timed like if you're actually like boxing him up or something, you know, having shown good striking moments and then you shoot, he's more like it's easier to catch him off guard. So like if it's well-timed, you'll take him down. But if it's like a sloppy telegraphed, yo, bro, get that out of his face. Like you're not going to just take him down blindly. You got to put something behind your takedown at all or it has no chance of success. And if you put something behind your takedown, it still has a little chance of success if like you're not physically adequate enough to be able to do that. You know, like he's good, bro. He's good. And he's reactive. He's quick. And he's like always tense. Like in his stance and everything, he's always kind of tense and like ready to explode and ready to like sprawl out. So he's hard to take down overall, but every time I have seen him get taken down, it just happened to be really very well timed takedown. So as far as the grappling, how does it look? I think Umar likely gets most of the single legs he attempts stuffed. I do think he's going to mostly attempt single legs. That's just kind of his go-to. But I just think most of them are going to get stuffed. I could see Yadong just defending them pretty well because he's stronger and he has a really quick reactive sprawl. I said Umar probably takes his back off a scramble. So I'm saying this could either be because, say he's stuffing the single leg, and then like it continues to defense, and then he does like a little throw off or like gets the back, something like that. Or Yadong shoots a takedown, which I don't think is going to be crazy. I think Yadong might actually shoot a takedown here. And off the takedown, he just gets out scrambled and ends up getting his back taken. I could see Yadong doing that. I'm telling you right now, Yadong's going to shoot a takedown this fight. It might be late, but he's going to shoot a takedown. But even late, it's hard to like secure positions against him. I remember Merab was taking Umar down late, but like he couldn't really secure positions. So he's kind of taking him down more so to emo and just, win the judges over rather than actually take him down to score and control him. So I think that's a big thing, that his scrambling might lead to the back take. I said Yadong will be stronger in the clinch, so I don't see Umar being able to hold him against the fence. I do remember against Merab, sometimes Merab would actually let Umar hold him against the fence, but the second Merab was done resting, he would have a really easy time kind of just reversing Umar, because Umar like kind of lacks that physical strength barrier, in my opinion. Like, it's not hard to overpower Umar. Even Umar and Corey, I remember he was trying to pull Corey and take his back. Like, Corey was standing up, kind of, well, you know how like Merab was standing up when Umar was like kind of hanging off his back, and I was like, people were glazing Merab's strength. Like, Corey was doing something similar, and Corey's not that strong, but yeah, just less. I just think it's going to be less grappling than you think. I think if you're expecting a heavy grappling fight with Umar, you're not going to get it. He's going to shoot takedowns, but they're going to be off the striking. I think it's going to be primarily a striking match, so I think it's going to be less grappling than most people think. But I do think it's going to be important to see who shoots and how it goes, because I do think scrambling is going to be a big part about most of the grappling exchanges. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the path to victory for Umar Nurmagomedov. This is what Umar Nurmagomedov has to do in order to win. He has to use his kicks to keep range more than anything. Like, not even to score, like try to hurt him, just keep his range using the kicks. Like, the time to hurt him will come eventually, but I think the question mark kick, the low kick, and the movement is going to be very important. I said, don't sit down and trade, stay on the bike. So I don't want Umar doing too much of like, you know what, let me just sit down and try to catch him when he lands something big and just trade with him, because Yadong's hands are faster. I do think Yadong's going to have more of a chance of like hurting Umar in like the sit down and trade situation. So I think Umar should try to avoid it entirely if he like wants an easier path to victory. I say time the takedowns behind striking momentum. Like I said, well-timed takedowns only work against Yadong, and even then it's still hard to do it. But if you're timing them off like his striking momentum, like, when I say Umar hits a flow state, he looks great when he's hitting that flow state, and that's when Yadong's going to start respecting his striking more so, and like, holy shit, this guy's a lot quicker than I thought. I saw in the interview, Yadong was like, nah, O'Malley's a lot quicker than him, that's why I struggled. Corey's quicker than him, stuff like that. Like, he thinks these guys, because their primary strikers are a lot quicker than Umar, and mistaking Umar for not a primary striker. He's going to find out real quick that Umar's a primary striker. He's pretty quick too. So like, off those quick striking entries with those question marks and those 1-2s, I do think he should time a takedown. And I do think that's going to be the best path to victory, to taking it to forcing Yadong to have a lot of things to think about. I said, just stick and move and frustrate. Yadong is prone to being frustrated. I've seen Yadong in fights like kind of put his hands up, like, what are you doing? You scared? But like, doing things like that, because should have put that in things to note, honestly. But yeah, he kind of like gets frustrated when like people are running or people are keeping their range, like Corey, even Sugar sometimes. But like, they don't need to do anything. If you're getting outpointed, and it goes back to my point that sometimes he has less output and he frustrates himself because he has a hard time tracking them down. Umar's going to be hard to track down. I hope he understands that. So his frustration is going to come to bite him in the ass. Especially, Umar's like disciplined. He's not going to, just because he's saying, oh, come here, let's fight, man, don't run away or whatever. Umar's not going to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's sit and trade. Umar's a very smart, intelligent fighter with great fight IQ. Yadong, if he's getting frustrated, Umar's going to see that and just keep what he's doing. So it's going to be a tough one for Yadong, even in the striking. Like I said, more than people think, man. So if you're expecting Yadong to school him in the striking, I think you have to watch footage before you make that pick. As for Yadong's path to victory, low kick, I put it in explanation points because it's important. His low kick's going to slow down a lot of the things that a lot of Umar's weapons. Like, if you could slow that lead kick, that lead leg down, kicking his leg, but he's southpaw, so it's going to be a little bit different to kick his leg, or harder to. He might have to do a little bit more lead leg kicks, which he does have, but he does need a low kick a lot. Stay on the pressure, don't give Umar space. Like, staying on the pressure, especially when Umar's known for fatiguing, or like his body's known for looking worse as the fight elongates. I actually do think the endurance advantage favors Song Yadong in this one. He has to stay on the pressure, because like I said, when he looks tired, you got to stay on the pressure and then use your boxing blitzes throughout, and then like, I feel like that's going to win the judges over. I said if he uses boxing blitzes throughout, he could force Umar to kind of stand his base and trade when he's on the pressure. And if you low kick him and then use the boxing accordingly, it's going to make Umar be forced to almost trade, because he's not going to want to move as much if you're compromising that front leg. Punch after stuff takedowns and exiting the clinch. When you stuff the takedown, because you're going to stuff the single legs of Umar, don't punch while you're stuffing them, because he actually might be crafty and trip you. But after you fully stuff them, and then because Umar's going to probably give up head in the air, that's when you throw a huge overhand. Or in the clinch, just exit. I think what I think's gonna happen is that if Umar gets like pushes him against the fence, I think Song Yadong's gonna muscle him out, put him against the fence, and then he should exit. But on the exit, he should land a punch. Or if it's reversed and Umar has him against the fence and Umar exits, you're gonna just punch because Umar does give up on takedowns against the fence. If he's like he doesn't like wasting his energy there. I've seen the Merab fight a couple times. He'll have Merab against the fence, but he would just exit. Like he'd be like, oh fuck it, and then Merab would kind of just let him exit and then start walking back up to him. No, like swing off that, overhand off that. Like try to make a moment off of a little thing like that, and I do think it'll be very advantageous for him. Last but not least, I say shoot in the later rounds behind an overhand. So I hear sirens outside, but like throw an overhand, like he has that quick thudding overhand, throw that and then shoot a takedown off it. I think that could open up some opportunities. Is Umar probably going to end up scrambling back to his feet if he even gets taken out from that? Sure, but even forcing Umar to do things like scramble like that late in the fight, that's going to hurt his gas tank that much more. Like I'm telling you, right, especially with that body language. And then after that, when you get up, stay on the pressure. Even if Yadong's tired, the visual of him getting stuffed and Umar still scrambling back to his feet, but him just staying on the pressure, it's gonna like judges are gonna love that, you know, and then force Umar to like just try to punch to keep you away, and then that's when you get Umar to finally start trading the thing you've been wanting him to do, and that could open up a lot of success for Yadong. So Yadong definitely has a clear path to victory as well. It's not easiest thing to execute, but if he wants to win against his first elite striker, it is something he needs to do. As far as who do I think's gonna win and my prediction for the fight, I think Umar by points is the most likely outcome. I think Umar likely frustrates Yadong with the style. I can see, like I said, I can see Yadong kind of complaining while Umar's kind of styling on him, sticking, moving. I think Yadong probably will have a moment, and it might be an overhand. Like Umar always gives up moments against some of these guys, man. I think, and this could be a thing, and it could be just a big shot Yadong lands, and Umar kind of just eats it, but it's still like the crowd goes crazy or something. But yeah, I think Yadong might have a moment. I think overall, Umar's going to frustrate him with the style. Umar's going to mix his wrestling to take the back, not necessarily to take him down and control him on his back, but like take his back and like just kind of ride out the round there or threaten chokes. But I think overall, Umar just outstrikes Yadong fairly comfortably. I think Yadong does happen to fall behind against other good strikers, especially good strikers who can mix in wrestling like Peter Yan. He did kind of struggle as that fight elongated. This is a 5-round fight, you know, like I said, it could look visually like it's not going to benefit Umar Nurmagomedov, but I do think Umar Nurmagomedov is a very talented striker, more so than people think. So I think he's going to win the fight primarily by striking, but he is going to do some wrestling behind that. So I got Umar by points, guys, after watching my 100+ hours. Like, you know, 100% streak on this guy's for a reason. You know, I don't get these picks wrong. All my life, brother, I never get these picks wrong. Why will I start today? Brother, why start today? Let me know your picks down below. Let me know your thoughts down below. It's just for me. God bless. 2, 3.